Hello, everybody. Hi. This is the 6th annual Joyce Kilmer Day in Mahwah, and it's one of our most festive and most rewarding of all the Joyce Kilmer days. I'm going to introduce to you the mayor of Mahwah, Bill Lafayette, and give you a little history. In 2013, when we proved that Joyce Kilmer wrote trees in his house here in Mahwah, in an upstairs room, with a desk at a window looking down a wooded hill, we asked the mayor if he would declare a day in Joyce Kilmer's honor, and Mayor Lafayette signed the proclamation that declares February 2nd. We're a little ahead of time. We got Super Bowl Sunday. We're not going to compete with that. Anyway, the mayor signed the proclamation declaring February 2nd as Joyce Kilmer Day in perpetuity, forever and ever. And we thank the mayor. He was supported by Councilman John Speck and John Roth. And so the mayor has always agreed to come to our events to give the official opening remarks of the township. Mayor?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. With me are two special guests. Janet Arriba is a councilwoman from Mahwah. Yes. And Michelle Paz is also a councilwoman, but also on the advisory for the Joyce Kilmer Society.
We named her first.
So with office come luxuries, right?
Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you. I know it's a tight space, but we've done this year on year. We recently did a day to announce the museum opening for Joyce Kilmer here. I highly recommend you to find your way up there and see it. It's quite a display. And as always, Alex is the ambassador. Our community is defined by many, many things. And one thing that is for sure is your contribution and your committee's contribution to keeping Joyce Kilmer's memory alive in so many ways. So we're very, very proud of the efforts that you put forward. And a round of applause for Alex. And to the judges who picked the poems that are being honored here today. It's an honor for me to be here. Great to see you all. I won't take a bit any more time, but I do think that this is really something about Mahwah that's so very, very special. Had it not been for Alex's efforts, it would not have been recognized. It was quite a battle. He'll tell you about the epic, I would call it the epic battle, to establish Mahwah as the home of Joyce Kilmer, where he wrote the poem Trees. So again, thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Kim Barron is here, too. Kim is the president of the Board of Education. And Kim is the first members of the Joyce Kilmer on Stage presentation, a play that I wrote about his poems. And Kim Barron is Joyce Kilmer's wife. In very late. Anyway, we have a great program. Not only the winners, but I want to tell you about Joyce Kilmer in Mahwah. This is Kilmer country, by the way. Joyce Kilmer not only lived in Mahwah, participated in the affairs of Mahwah, loved it here, said that the greatest thing that he got, that the dear Lord gave to him in a worldly way, is his home in Mahwah. He wrote that in a letter to one of his dear friends. So he really loved Mahwah, but he liked the whole region because he would travel on a train from Suffern, usually in the morning. It was the express to Jersey City, and then go to New York. He worked for the New York Times. That was at the height of his career. He was living in Mahwah and writing in Mahwah and enjoying Mahwah. And one of the poems, though, that he wrote, aside from trees, he wrote 100 poems, was the 1245. And that's about a train. He loved trains. He said that He found a lot of friends on the train. He would tell them about the story that he wrote for that day. And he talked about 16 of the stops of this train at 12:45. And by the way, that's not 12:45 in the afternoon, that's in the morning, after midnight. Newspaper people work very hard and very long in those days. I have a little knowledge of that. I was a reporter at the Daily News for 30 years. I've been retired a long time, so I take no credit or criticism for whatever is happening now. But they do work long, or they did anyway. So we decided to feature the poem, The 12:45. And with us here today is Al DiGiacomo. He's not only a musician, a videographer, he's a member of our on stage Joyce Kilmer cast, and he is going to play Joyce Kilmer today. And here he is, Joyce Kilmer, Al DiGiacomo.
Well, I didn't see you board the train. Good evening, or should I say good morning. My name is Joyce Kilmer. This is where I work, at the New York Times, and I'm a commuter, and proud of it. I live in the Ramapo Hills, and I don't mind commuting. Some people say I'm one of the most accomplished commuters. That's quite a bit of an overstatement, but I will say this. It is no life at all. No life at all for a man not to travel at least 60 miles a day between his office and his home. But thanks to this train, I don't spend the whole trip reading my paper. I still tell stories to the passengers. And sometimes I just look out the window and think of all the people living in the towns along the way. Like when I take the 12:45, this glorious train. As a matter of fact, I've honored it with a poem. Let me read it. The 12:45. Within the Jersey City shed, the engine coughs and shakes its head. The smoke, a plume of red and white, waves madly in the face of night. And now the grave incurious stars gleam on the groaning, hurrying cars. Against the kind and awful rain of darkness, this our angry train. The noisy rebel pouts, its brief defiance flames and shouts, and passes on and leaves no trace, for darkness holds its ancient place. Serene and absolute, the king, unchanged of every living thing. The houses lie obscure and still in Rutherford and Carlton Hill. Our lamps intensify the dark of slumbering Passaic Park, and quiet holds the weary feet that daily tramp through Prospect Street. What though we clang and clank and roar through all Passaic streets, no door will open, not an eye will see who this loud vagabond will be. Upon my crimson cushioned seat, in manufactured light and heat, I feel unnatural and mean. Outside the towers are cool and clean. Curtained a while from sound and sight, they take God's gracious gift of night. The stars are watchful over them on Clifton as in Bethlehem. The angels lean down the sky, shed peace and gentle dreams, and I ride blasphemously ride through the silent countryside. The engines shriek, the headlights glare, pollute the still nocturnal air. The cottages of Lakeview sigh, and sleeping frown as we pass by. Why, even strident Patterson rests quietly as a nun. Her foolish wearing children keep the grateful armistice of sleep. For what tremendous errand's sake are we so blatantly awake? Our precious secret that our secret freight? What king must be broad so late? Perhaps death roams the hills tonight, and we rush forth to give him fight. Or perhaps we speed his way to some remote unthinking prey. Perhaps a woman writhing in pain and listens for the train. The train, like an angel sings, the train with healing on its wings. Now Hawthorne, the conductor cries. My neighbor starts and rubs his eyes. He hurries yawning through the car and steps out where the houses are. This is the reason of our quest. Not wantonly we break the rest. Our town and village, nor do we lightly profane night's sanctity. What love commands, the train fulfills, and beautiful upon the hills. Are these our feet of burnished steel? Subtly and certainly I feel that Glenrock welcomes us to her, and silent Ridgewood seems to stir. And smile because she knows the train has brought her children back again. We carry people home, and so God speeds us wherever we go. Hohokus, Waldwick, Allendale, lift sleepy heads to give us hail. In Ramsey, Mahwah, Suffern stand, houses that wistfully demand a father, son, some human thing. This thing, the midnight train may bring. The train that travels in the day and hurries folks to work or play. The midnight train is slow and old, but of it let this thing be told. To honor it, it must be said, it carries people home to bed. My cottage lamp shines white and clear. God bless the train that brought me here. I hope you like it. This is my stop. We'll see you next time.
Terrific. Great rendition. Now we come to the awards. This is the Joyce Kilmer Oscars. And we were privileged to have a very prominent educator head our judging panel. And by the way, our winners range from age 8 to 82. So that covered everybody. Including 82. You're going to have an opportunity to, whoops. There
you go.
8 to 82. Wow. Anyway, heading our group of judges is a woman who lives in Mahwah, but she's been an educator for like 46 years, 28 of those as principal of the school in Wyckoff. She was the 2007 National Distinguished Principal in New Jersey, selected by the National Association of Elementary School Principals. She was also YMCA Bergen County's Humanitarian of the Year, and she was president of the Bergen County Elementary and Middle School Administrators Association and president of the Wyckoff Midland Park Rotary Club. Wow, that's quite a background. And we were honored to have her as the chief judge, as you say, of the Supreme Court of Mahwah. And that's Dr. Mary Orr, and I've invited her to come up here to say a few words about poetry and the virtues of poetry. And we're hopeful that teachers and parents will help their children learn to read poetry and learn to write it, because it's a great part of their education. Particularly in this tech society, I feel we have to also learn how to read well. And the youngsters that we have, and we're very proud that the Mahwah school system cooperated and helped us along. I want to pay tribute to Dr. Schoen, the superintendent of schools, who approved of our plans and placed the entry forms on the Core 1, which is the internet communications to all parents and students. At this time, let me call up Dr. Orr to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Alec. I am so happy to see children. You have no idea. I retired 2 years ago, and I miss them so much. So it was just great fun to read the poetry. And I have a former, where's my Victoria Beltry? Where are you back there? She was a student teacher in my school. Yeah, so some other friendships around the room. Poetry. By the way, didn't you hope a train would come through while he was reading that? I was sitting there saying, come on. They always come, but they don't come when you want them, right? If you look around the room, when you talk about the value of poetry, look at the ages in this room. Look at the, that you just talked about, the ages. That was so exciting to read the poems. Read the children and then read the adults, and it was wonderful. So I think that's something that builds community and makes us all proud to be with one another. Joyce Kilmer's legacy, think about it. He died in 1918. How many years ago, boys and girls? 100 years ago, right, 100 years ago. So you think about it, actually he died in World War I. He was fighting, he was only 32 years old. It's a really interesting biography if you ever get a chance to read it. Teachers love poetry because it teaches you to read, write, and all the skills that they're trying to get across to you. I love it because I think it gives you an insight into yourself and into others. It makes you think a little bit about who we are, what we're doing, and maybe even why we're doing it. You can look at the world around you, all different ways. What does the world look like? I mean, just trees, we pass them every day. And his poem is just so famous, we all know that. You can express your thoughts, and I think that's really important. Sometimes your feelings and your thoughts, you just want to get them out. Creative thinking. One thing about poetry, it really encourages creative thinking. And in this world today, creative thinkers, that's a very important job of people that are going out into the workforce. Being creative, boys and girls, that's something that, we put a great value on today. It promotes higher order thinking skills and makes you take a deeper look at everything. And what I like is the playfulness. I love the language. I love the ability to go back and forth and have some fun with it. We have a former Ramsey teacher, and didn't you say you took Dr. Seuss and made a play out of it?
Yes.
All right, who remembers the Dr. Seuss line? Come on, boys and girls, give me one.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
I remember Sam I Am. Green eggs. Look at the adults in the room. Oh, okay, there you go. I mean, you can have so much fun with it. But anyway, really keep writing, keep sharing, and I think it's really good for you as you grow up to be doing things like this, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. There were 3 judges. Another one was Marina Takin. Marina, and myself. But I was outvoted. But no, we had a great time. It was a tough thing to do, though. We had 58 entries,
Wow.
which was far and above what we expected. We hoped, but we got 58 entries from not only Mahwah, but a total of 10 towns, as far away as Pennsylvania, several in New York State, in Rockland County, and it was difficult to pick winners, and the competition was really close. But we hope we've done a credible job. We think we've selected 10 very, very good poems, but there were lots of others. And all 58 of them, by the way, are in that container there on the desk. And we thank all of the people who submitted those poems, winners and the rest of them. And we hope that they will continue to write and enter our contests in the future. And now the envelopes, please. Now is the time to hand out the awards and to listen to the poems by the winners who want to come up here to read their poems, and I think they would like that. This is an opportunity for you to share these poems with the public. And so I call up our first, and there's no particular order here. These are the honorable mention poems, no particular order, but I want to call up Hartley Rao. Hartley is 8 years old. Am I right, Hartley? Thank you.
Sit on the chair.
And she's a good writer. She's a terrific writer. And she's going to, first of all, I'm going to give you some money. Okay. The honorable mention. And also, you can pick this up later. This is the certificate of recognition. And it says, this certificate recognizes the literary excellence of Hartley Rao, Lenape Meadows School in Mahwah, New Jersey, for her composition of an original poem entitled Kindness, and bestows upon her the award of honorable mention, Joyce Kilmer Poetry Contest 2017, presented on this 28th day of January 2018 by Alex Michelini. Anyway, you can pick up this award and this certificate, hang it up in your room, because this shows that you've done something very well. And now would you like to read your poem? We'd like to hear it. Can you hold this? Can you read it at the same time? We want you to hold it.
No.
Go ahead.
Kindness by Hartley Rao. Being kind is easy, just try and you'll see. It's not hard at all, just pick someone up when they fall. Give a hug or a high five and you will feel alive. Just try and you'll see. I tried and it wasn't hard for me.
Thank you very much. Our next recipient is Shreya Theriumal. Did I pronounce that right? Not Shreya. I'm glad. But anyway, Shreya is a student at the Joyce Kilmer School. How nice. And how old are you?
10.
10. We're getting up there. Shreya wrote a poem called A Poem by Vitamins.
Sure. I keep your skin healthy and soft as silk. I'm found in carrots, spinach, oranges, and milk. You'd find me in a sweet potato as well as in cheese. I'm the pal of your eyes, helping them see clear with ease. Eat bright-colored veggies and fruits every day. I'm truly a vital vitamin. Oh yes, I'm the vitamin A. I keep you young, energetic, healthy, and pretty. I make new blood cells and improve your immunity. Find me in whole grains, lentils, veggies, nuts, and dairy. I strengthen your nervous system with my complex family. I stabilize moods, sleep cycles, and help the growth of a baby. I'm truly a vital vitamin. Oh yes, I'm the vitamin B. I am the potent antioxidant and help absorption of iron. I protect from cancers and repair the tissue collagen. Find in veggies and citrus fruits, I make wounds heal easy. I'm truly a vital vitamin. Oh yes, I'm the vitamin C. Thank you.
I'm not 10 years old. Shreya, here's some money for you. Don't spend it all in one place. Excuse me. And your award, very similar to the other award. It's a recognition certificate with your name, and it's for your composition of an original poem entitled A Poem by Vitamins, and it bestows upon you the award of honorable mention. Joyce Kilmer Poetry Contest 2017. That's the year of the poem. Here you go. Congratulations. 4 of the 10 awards that we give out were given to elementary school students in Mahwah. They were the largest group of entrants to the contest, I might tell you, and it far exceeded our expectations. Let me call up Tegan Parody. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
It was right.
That was terrific there. Tegan, that was right, huh? That's the first time. What's the name of your poem?
Friends by Tegan Verity.
Very good.
Friends, so hard to find, so easy to lose, but a true friendship lasts forever. Friends are like a light in a world of darkness. In an endless sea of sand, friends are an oasis. In a vast ocean of ice, friends are a fire burning strong.
Thank you, Tegan. 9 years old, 8, 9, and 10. Tegan, here's your prize, and here's your certificate. Thank you very much. I'm going to go up slightly here. Madeline Giotta? Or Giotta? Yes. I should know. Madeline?
Yes.
The name of your book?
Oh, before I read my poem.
Yes.
Really thrilled to be here. I was an educator in Ramsey for most of my career, which was 33 years, and now I teach art to children in the after-school program. Perk for that. But before I read my poem, I need to ask you 2 questions. Think about how does time affect your life in our technological society, and does anyone have a synonym or 2 for the noun king or queen? Hints? Anybody? Okay. One would be sovereign, which is also maybe in the old days considered a coin. And the other is monarch. And I'm sure that all our scientists in the audience have heard of monarch butterflies. But monarch, of course, can be considered a ruler, an emperor, or... Okay, my poem deals with time matters, and I use the terms, and thank you for listening to Time Matters. No matter what time it is, it's always about time. Time is a sovereign with a huge ego. We plead, it resists. It scolds, we submit. But time is a flirt, flitting its hands, then marching off with our dreams in tow. We struggle through days, hours, and minutes, but steadfast time wants to conquer all. There's a not-so-secret remedy before it's too late. Let us humor time, gently, quietly, cajoling and stroking, taming the monarch now and forever. Inherit time's throne with patience and mastery. Long live the clever timekeeper.
Thank you. Your prize and your certificate. Thank you very much. Patricia Colbert. From Mahwah. Patricia, thank you. Thank you. Would like to hear your poem.
The poem is called In a Moment. Your life changes with words. I'm leaving, you're fired, he's dead. I love you, marry me, it's a girl. And from that moment on, nothing is ever the same.
Thank you. The poem doesn't have to be a lot of words to be heard.
Those are real bottom line words.
Patricia, here's your award and your certificate of recognition. Thank you very much for participating. to the next phase of our awards. And in a moment, I'm going to be calling Patricia Langdale. She's the vice president of the Joyce Kilmer Society of Mahwah. She's also the manager of the Boiling Springs Savings Bank here. And she has given us and her terrific staff who have surrounded us. They're ready to do business, by the way. They're opening up the safe. And they do a terrific job, not only at the bank, but helping us here with the Joyce Kilmer Society. And I want to recognize that Councilman David May has joined us. Thank you, David. And it was the Boiling Springs Bank that donated the funding for the 4 of the awards that Patty will be giving out. The Joyce Kilmer Society donated the others, the 6 awards to the people who just received their awards a few moments ago. I also want to recognize Nicole Spinella. She's our secretary of the Joyce Kilmer Society. We're going to one of our Mahwah Day tents. Nicole operates the lollipop tree, Joyce Kilmer Lollipop Tree. It's a great game that she came up with, in which all you have to do to win is to pull a piece of paper out of the bag, which has 2 lines of the Joyce Kilmer poem. And all you have to do is read it out loud, and you get a lollipop. I'm still waiting to win. It is so popular, she gives out many, many lollipops.
And I'm a
And they're not all kids either.
And I'm a past winner of the Joyce Kilmer Poetry Contest also.
That's right, she was a previous winner, Nicole. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that gave you the
I know you gave me my
the entry form. But I want to bring up Patricia Langdale, and she will hand out the Best in Show winners. Patty?
I just want to say thank you. Before. But first I want to say something. Thank you all for attending today. And I'm so grateful to work for a bank that supports the community like Boiling Springs does. Not only do they support the community, they do support the arts. I also want to thank my staff, Rita, Dorothy, Bonnie, and Rima, for coming in today, because they're just as committed to the community here in Mahwah as the bank is. Also want to thank my marketing sales coordinator, Lee Del Porto, in the back there, for coming and helping out today. First one that Alex would like me to introduce is Tom Austin.
I was a judge. I got to tell you, Tom, I had to abstain on you. Not that I didn't like your poem. It was a terrific poem by Tom Austin. But I realized I've known Tom for many, many years ago from Fort Lee.
Wow.
When we were kids. We were in talent shows. And guess what? I was the MC and he was the talent winning. Nothing's changed. Except for this.
Together when you were growing up before we were married.
There was the Police Athletic League in Fort Lee. Tom has lived for many years now in Ramsey, and I've lived for 32 years in Mahwah. But I got to tell you something else. Tom was a star in rock and roll.
Yeah.
Tom Austin was a member of the Royal Teens that had the number 3 record in America in 1958 called Short Shorts.
Oh,
He didn't write it about me. Yeah, he wrote that song with Bob Gaudio, who, by the way, wrote Jersey Boys. Bob Gaudio was a member of the Royal Teens. He was 15 from Bergenfield. Tom Austin was from Fort Lee, always played drums in the PAL, went on to stardom And,
Fine. You had to be, I think you're a year older than me, so you can. But can I just say something?
sure, come on up.
I gotta say something.
You see, Fort Lee was a very, it wasn't an ethnic town, but there were a lot of Italians in Fort Lee because they built the George Washington Bridge, all the Masons. So the only people that would show up for our talent shows were the Italian immigrants. But Alex could speak Italian. So he would get up on the stage and he'd start telling jokes in Italian. But none of us knew what he was talking about. Right?
That's right. Isn't that something? I hate to tell you how many years ago this was.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
70.
close.
Close to 70.
Close.
Yeah.
But Tom, I must say, is also an accomplished painter. He's published books, and he has written, I think, a magnificent poem. But as I say, I realized during the judging, I know Tom Boston. I can't vote for this poem. But fortunately, the two ladies that were also judges, Dr. Orr and Marina, thought the same way. They thought it was a terrific poem. And so congratulations, Patty.
All right.
Oh, here you go. Give Tom his
Well, thank you.
award.
Thank you very much.
And you're going to recite it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just give you a little background on this. Maybe 5 years ago, a friend of mine, a female friend of mine, had to go to Washington. She was very active with the Komen Cancer Foundation. So she knew that I wrote songs and things and paint and had a little bit of art experience. She came up to me and she said, I need something to say for my speech, she said. Can you write me something and write it so that it sounds like a woman could read it? And it's for breast cancer. And when the women get this tremendous storm of problems and they finally realize they have this and they lay in bed in the morning and they're so scared and everything, come up with something. Well, I said, I don't have a feeling for that. I said, I can't do it. But I'll try. And it came out of me instantly. I didn't write twice. It just flew out. And I said, it must be divine intervention because I never wrote a poem before. Okay? So I'll read it to you now. It's called Wildflowers. The sun is rising over the hill. The storm has passed. The air is so still. As I lie in silence and wait for the day, the sweet smell of wildflowers comes drifting my way. I go to my window on this beautiful morn to look at my garden so hurt by the storm. Flowers are rain-soaked with beaten down stems, but strangely enough, they begin straightening again. As I watch for a moment, they begin to stand tall, some leaning on others so they will not fall. Petal to petal, together they stand. It's almost as if they stand hand in hand. My garden of color once more came alive and made it so clear that I too can survive.
And that's the long and short of it. But isn't that a wonderful sentiment? And as I read that poem, I felt that also can pertain to anyone who's facing a challenge in life and needs something to uplift them. And I just thought it was magnificent. But I didn't vote.
Okay, the next one is Tristan Theodore Crandon. 10 years old.
I want to thank the Joyce Kilmer Society of Mahwah for this opportunity. Stay true. Don't hide your true self. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You are all a team of amazingness. Be kind with no expectations. Why are there unkind and mean people in this world? I don't have the answer. I'm only 10 years old. For me, I like happiness, smiles on people's faces. and that warm feeling when you help someone. Don't be jealous. It's a useless emotion. Be happy for that person who has something you want too. And at the end, it will all come to you. Follow your true passions. I know I am. I love soccer and music with all my heart, and I will follow my dreams. And so should everyone else. Don't ever hide your true self.
I think he's going to be an actor someday. We're going to see him on Broadway.
The next is Margaret Eddy.
This is about the Ramapos and about Mahwah, where I was not actually a local. I came from Europe and I grew up in the Alps. So when I first got here, I looked at the Ramapos and I thought they were very small, round and not mountains. And then I'm a hiker, so I was hiking and I became very addicted to the Ramapos for hiking. So I wrote this poem a while ago, and it tells how I love the place. It's called The Land of Sloping Rock and Waterfalls. As I sit upon this amber rock called Noorderkopf, the world beneath my feet is sculpted into waves and peaks and gilded by the autumn's magic touch. With open eyes I dream into the sky of blue and bygone days. The river carved a path between the hills. Now concrete ribbons, cloverleaf, intruding on the shore where deer gather to drink and fox and bear meet undisturbed. The men who walk this land on silent feet, clad into folds of moccasins, set up their camps by placid lakes that hold the tears of clouds. And by the fire, they would share their tales of this their land of rock and waterfalls.
By the way, the mountains aren't tall here, but Mount Hovenkopf, which is in Mahwah, is the 49th highest mountain in New Jersey. That's about as high as we go. And Joyce Kilmer climbed it several times and wrote a poem called Mount Hovenkopf, where Stag Hill is the largest peak. Mount Hovenkopf straddles Mahwah and Suffolk. And so that's our kind of thing.
Okay, before I announce the last one, I just want to, again, thank everybody for coming. Afterwards, Alex will tell you we have a beautiful cake in the back and a cup of coffee, so please feel free to stay. Also, on your way out, we have a parting gift from Boiling Springs. It's a bag, so please take one on your way out. And the final winner is William Kennedy. Did you go to school in Mahwah here?
I go to Ramsey High.
Oh, Ramsey.
That's okay.
My poem is called Pulling into Hoboken. Think he thought he'd never see another act of bravery, not the men entombed at Robe Bouquet, not he who volunteered that day. Or did his mind find peace as he deceased? Did an empty house, commute, or tree set his mind free? Simple things that reach through time, simple patterns, simple rhyme. Criticized for sincerity, subjected to parody. Looking out on Airmont Road, where he scribed that earthly ode. Come where there is a tree, better enjoyed by you and me.
We do have, if you get a chance to see our display. Yes. The 1245, these are the actual train stations that Joyce Kilmer mentioned in the poem. There's 16 of them. And these are photos that we found, photos of these train stations 100 years ago. But some of them don't exist anymore. Right outside of Jersey City, there's Carlton Hill, next to Rutherford, actually. Carlton Hill doesn't exist anymore. It was part of East Rutherford. Another station, Passaic Park. There's Passaic, but not Passaic Park anymore. And a third one is Lakeview, which was a station in Patterson. But the others still exist, although Hawthorne was part of Mansfield Township, and it was part of Hardin County. But they thought it was too far to go to the county seat in Hackensack, so they chopped it off and made it part of Passaic County. And there's Ridgewood, looks the same, Hohokus, Glen Rock, Waldwick, Allendale, Ramsey, Mahwah. That's the old one, 1871. It's now the Mahwah, the Railroad Museum. And the new station was built in 1915. Joyce Kilmer was here. He arrived in, bought 2 lots in Mahwah in 1911 in the Cragmere Park section. They were living in Manhattan. He and his wife and his first son, Kenton, raised 4 of his 5 kids in Mahwah, and moved in 1912 and stayed until the end of 1916. Of course, in 1917 he went off to war, and within a year he was killed in action. And he received the French Croix de Guerre, which was for courage under fire. Anyway, if you get a chance, take a look at our stations. We have a great refreshments in the bank, compliments of the bank, cake, the coffee, and cookies. My wife Janet helped out, and we also have cocoa for the kids. And thank you all for coming. Enjoy yourself. It's a great day. The rain stayed away. It turned out to be a great night. Of course, otherwise, we're happy to get you. Jeremy Langdale. Sounds like Jeremy, thank you very much.